All right, what's up, everybody? A wonderful YOLO Improv Saturday morning video where today I will be discussing the principles of elite performance and how to become elite at any craft. And really, this is about the commonalities across all endeavors that I'm going to go through, and most importantly, how you can apply them to your trading or whatever you're looking to excel at. So, yesterday out here in San Diego, I lifted with Tanner Owings, aka the Strong Trader. And so even the backstory is a little bit cool, where I met Tanner at Traders for a Cause. As you all know, Traders for a Cause does their big Keystone annual event out in Vegas. And it's an amazing event, not just to raise money for charity, but it's incredible for networking. It's incredible for trader education, for learning and expanding your world and surrounding yourself with traders of all levels. If you've never been, highly recommend. And so that's where I met Tanner. And so Tanner is a competitive powerlifter weighing in at 220 pounds, but he lifts over 1,600 pounds in competition. For those that don't know the sport, those are some very beastly numbers. I would consider myself an advanced lifter. I've been lifting for over 20 years. I lift with a trainer. I take it very, very seriously. But that is in a whole different league. So getting to meet him, you automatically click with someone with that like that. And I knew that while I was out here in San Diego, I knew we needed to get a lift in. So yesterday, I got to spend a couple hours at the gym with Tanner, getting advice and pointers from him, and I was in his world. And throughout the whole workout, all I could think about was the commonalities of elite performance across any endeavor, whether that be powerlifting or trading. There were just so many similarities. So the very first one of them is that if I had to summarize what leads to elite performance in one sentence, it's this: the intensity and all-out effort you make to improve and dedicate yourself to something. And what I realized is it's all these small nuances and all these little things that separate Tanner and make him a whole world apart from me. Even though I take lifting seriously and I worry about my macros, am I getting enough protein? I work with a trainer. I know about different training programs and periodization, and I know different techniques, and I'm watching all the top YouTubers and their videos. I'm learning a lot about this craft. It is a huge difference. And that gap, while it might be so big, it's really about a lot of the small things which are purely intensity and effort based that make him so much better than me. And it's not so different in the trading world, where you can be a struggling or floundering or kind of break even or making some money trader, and to really elevate your game, that next level is what really gets tapped into when you're all in, much like I was in my career. And step one with this is the power of environment. When we lifted together yesterday, we did not lift at your everyday box gym. We went way out of our way, especially for Tanner, who drove over an hour, and I'm sure he got stuck in traffic, so sorry, Tanner. But we were lifting at a place called The Compound. And true to its name, this was a compound of steel and weight and people going beast mode. There were no spas, juice drinks, pickleball courts. People were there for one reason, and that was to lift at a high level. The music was loud, grunting was encouraged, and people were not fucking around. There were some serious pro lifters there, and everyone there was taking it very seriously. And that's going to come up more in a little bit. And the analogy I would give to this is really the difference of being at a place like the Compound versus Planet Fitness. And if you're trying to really be elite at something, there is no environment more toxic than Planet Fitness, where it's not about pushing yourself, it's not about lifting your comfort level, and that doesn't mean places like Planet Fitness don't have a purpose. If you're brand new to lifting, or if you're someone that's afraid of judgment or just trying to take your first step into the lifting world, that is a totally great place, right? It definitely serves its purpose, especially if you otherwise don't have any other place. It's affordable. It's great for the average person. For most people, Planet Fitness and working out there is better than not. But the issue is, if you're trying to be truly elite, that is not the environment and the atmosphere that's going to push you to your best. You need to be surrounded by other big, serious lifters. You need to be encouraged. You need to be in a world, much like the prop world for trading, where when I started at Trillium, you're immediately thrown into a world of all pros. You're getting a competitive atmosphere of people that are all dedicated to this craft, trying to get better every day. And if you're a retail trader, that doesn't mean you need to go prop. Most can't, don't want to, or wouldn't be able to even get in. But what it does mean is, how can you take those best practices of environment to elevate your game? And a lot of that means finding a pod, finding fellow like-minded traders that are serious and committed. Why do I host and pay for all these meetups around the country out of my own pocket? To do a favor to you all so that you all can pod up and find like-minded people in your area. There's one in San Diego next week. I try to do these all over, and so many people have met similar traders, and it's elevated their game. So step one is finding the optimal environment. That also means not working out of like a WeWork where you're going to be distracted. That means having stable, fast internet. Everything that can help your odds and show how serious you are about this game, you need to do. The other big thing I always find myself talking about is I preach the importance of mentorship. Without mentorship, the odds are so stacked against you in the trading game if you don't have a mentor. That doesn't mean it's impossible, just that it's an uphill battle. So why is it no surprise that when I went to lift with Tanner, it turns out he is a powerlifting coach, right? And this powerlifting coach is giving him advice on every little small technique. This is someone that's already walked the path before. He's competed at a high level. He's worked, most importantly, with other people that are trying to reach a high level of elite powerlifting, because it's one thing to have expertise in the craft, but it's a whole other skill set to be able to coach that. And if you take someone like Bella was a good trader, but more important than Bella being a good trader is Bella has been coaching traders for 15 plus years now. His whole passion is helping other traders become elite. And you need to be able to communicate. You need to know how to fix different problems for different people. You need to know what the right cues are. You need to know the different types of techniques based on different personalities. And it's no different than Tanner for him and his powerlifting coach. And so that's the immediate area that separates us. The other thing is, as we started lifting, everyone in this gym, not everyone, but a lot of people were all recording their lifts. Then after each lift, they would be dissecting their video. And so to no surprise, Tanner busts out his tripod and he was recording our lifts for us. And whereas most times at the gym, I'm sure 99% of people, the second their set's done, they're fooling around on Instagram, they're texting, they're doing whatever. They're doing everything but deliberate practice to improve. And so what was so amazing with Tanner is he takes the video after and we then replay it, and he points out all the things I was doing well and all the minor 1% differences I could have done better. Okay, Lance, like you had awesome, great leg drive, super high speed, great speed of the bar. But what we really could have done is this cue is to push further back once you get to that sticking point. Or your right arm was a little bit weaker here. If you really drive with your right arm, that's going to help you keep that momentum. And that's the essence of deliberate practice. You're getting immediate feedback and you're immediately incorporating that onto the next rep, onto the next set. And that stuff matters so much. It's no different than that video I've made on the trader highlight reel. If you're not recording your screens and if you're not finding and looking and studying at those integral moments, you are not improving at the optimal rate you could be. This is such an amazing best practice. It's something that I don't do because I'm not an elite trader or an elite powerlifter. It's something that a practice that I should be doing if I want to take this really seriously. And it was so helpful to me. The other big thing is when you're given those cues or when you're given that feedback, it's so important to be conscious and incorporate that as effectively and quickly as possible. So there was this one video where as I start to go, I do this kind of like little stutter rep thing, and Tanner was like, "Oh, what was that?" And what happened was he had given me some prior feedback regarding right after the liftoff, and I was trying to be conscious of it, and I started my rep without incorporating it, and I said, oh shit, I need to reset and incorporate that piece of feedback. And that, while it looked like a fucked up rep, that's actually super amazing because that was me being conscious, me being open to the feedback and immediately incorporating it, right? So with so many people in their trading, when they get feedback, it's always a question, if they even get feedback at all. Most people aren't even studying their trading to this level or looking for the things they could improve on. But then to actually make the improvement, it's a question of how quickly you incorporate it and fix that. And the really elite traders incorporate and fix their issues far faster and far more effectively than the less skilled. And that's what I tried to do as this lifter in Tanner's world, is he was giving me the feedback. Then it was my goal. Okay, next set, I need to incorporate this. And especially when we got in the heavier sets, I really needed to drive with my right arm and cue to lift and push a little bit further back towards my head. And him being a great lifter, as I'm doing that lift, he's doing that with me. And so then the beauty of that too, of having someone to work out with and being in this environment, is at the end of the set, he's congratulating me. He's telling me what I need to do. You're amped up. You're feeling good. You're getting the feedback you need. You're pushing each other to be better. And that's so integral in the trading world. The other thing that was apparent is not just videotaping it, but are you also journaling? Are you aware of your programming and ways you can improve? Are you having really what's no different than a daily report card? The beauty of the daily report card is it gives you that singular goal that you need to focus on to make that session a success. It's so similar. The final thing I'll touch on is what I like to call identity. It's really emphasized in Atomic Habits. When I walked into that gym, Tanner was there with his lifting bag. He had his weightlifting belt. He had his liquid chalk. Tanner is the strong trader. When that is so ingrained into your identity, want to know who doesn't miss a workout? Tanner. Want to know who I guarantee will be strong and fit in 20 years? Tanner. So my challenge for you all is, what is your identity as a person? If you're trying to be elite, what are your core values? Whose identity out there is it to be the consistent trader? So that every single day, your practice and your routine revolves around, how can I be more consistent? How can I consistently be green? And how can I study on the weekend and my videos and everything else to help me be green each day? Or who's the 1% better trader, where at the end of each day, whether it's a win or loss, you go back and say, what can I do to be 1% better? All the time on Twitter, I see people posting their losses. Good for them. That's better than not. You're being transparent at least. But what I never ever see is the people that post these losses actually identifying what they did wrong with any level of depth or nuance. And not only that, they're then not taking the even more critical step, is proposing solutions to improve. If you simply post your loss, that does literally nothing to make you better. You need to identify what you did wrong. You need to post and find effective solutions and figure out how you can take actions to implement them ASAP. That is the difference between growing at an exceptionally fast pace and becoming elite, or floundering. And so if we look at all these commonalities between powerlifting and trading, it really comes down to mentorship. It comes down to optimal environment, journaling, reviewing tape, surrounding yourself with other big, experienced, serious lifters or traders, dialing in sleep, diet, mental focus. If Tanner has a losing day or a bad day trading, and he's not going to be focused at that workout, he delays the workout a couple hours so that he can clear his mind, because he knows how critical it is for him to be fully focused. And guess what? Much like I tweeted this week, that doesn't mean you need to be perfect. You want to know who had some alcohol last night? I did. You want to know who also had some alcohol? Tanner. But at least for me, all I had was a drink, and it's in balance with all my other priorities where, okay, I had a little bit of fun. It was fine. But really, I prioritized my lifting and got some awesome workouts this week. And that's because I'm taking this seriously and trying to be better at it. So all these things that I've discussed are true for any endeavor. If you were to watch any of the Tom Brady documentaries, whether it's football, lifting, trading, Brady has his throwing coach. He has his strength and conditioning coach, his nutrition coach. He has Belichick. He's surrounded by the best players in the league. Even when he goes home, he's watching tape. He is obsessing of every single play. All he is thinking about is how he can be his best. It is that level of intensity and focus and effort that you need to put in to take yourself from serious to elite. And so I ask yourself, how many of you out there are that level of committed? How many of you out there are not satisfied with your performance in 2023? If you want to take it to the next level in 2024, you need to study these best practices and think about how you can apply them to your trading so that you can become your best and become elite at this craft. Thank you all for watching.